Let me make sure though. Thank you.
I'm going back over there.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the meeting. Looks like we've almost got a full house. We don't have any public comments. We're going to move item E on the discussion action item to after D. Any of you are keeping track, you might want to make a note on that. Item A is budget amendments for the 2019-2020 school year.
We have a little bit more money moving around this year, and I'll kind of go through why it's happened. It's really because of COVID. So what I've uploaded, they're pretty standard budget amendments. We did end the year with $576,959.23 in additional revenue. Most of that is due to COVID funds. We'll go through that. Expenditures were up, conversely $125,425.36 from the budgeted expenses. We had some grant revenue that we expended that offsets that revenue. And then last year's summer school was bigger than it had been in the past, so we had more summer school expenses than we have had in the past. Overall adjustment to revenue, $451,533.90 to the good, to the revenue side. It's very positive, made possible by the $429,000 in COVID dollars, which $321,000 of that has been received, and we made the request today to draw down the remainder. Overall, we had a surplus of $129,777.15 without the COVID funds. So if we would have just had a regular school year, we did see a majority of that savings, that 129. We had a lack of substitute teachers in the spring, so that was about $60,000 left in that budgeted amount. And then we didn't have activity trips in the spring, and then supplies that we would usually order for the spring. We didn't have those expenses. So we just need a motion to make the budget amendments 2019-20 from budgeted to actual.
Board now open for a motion. Mark makes a motion. Do I have a second? Troy seconds. Any discussion? No discussion. We will now vote. All in favor? Looks like it's 7-0. Motion passed. Item B is resolution for Fund 4 transfer.
Okay, that is something we do yearly. We have to transfer money to get money into Fund 4. We do that when the auditor is here in July. Traditionally, that has been it's a resolution for the superintendent to transfer up to $1 million from Fund 1 to Fund 4 for capital projects, lease purchase payments, etc. Again, this will be done when the auditors are here in July. They have verified our expenditures and revenues.
We need a motion for a transfer to Fund 4. Dan makes the motion. Do we have a second? Randy seconds the motion. Any discussion?
And how much is in there right now?
So currently in Fund 4 is going to be at the end of this month, 250, 300,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. We had lease purchase payments this month. We usually try to carry about 1.1 to 1.2 million in Fund 4. We have $450,000 in lease purchases payments that we have to make out of that account every year.
And we're transferring funds from 1 to 4.
Fund 1 to Fund 4 is the only way to, because we don't have a levy in Fund 4, we have to make the transfer from the incidental fund to the capital projects.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Looks like the motion passed, 7-0. We have moved item E up to follow item B. Item E is adopt a 2021 salary schedule and benefits.
So we meet with the salary committee, met with them twice, gave them several different scenarios. They came up with a first and a second choice, and I'll go through those if you would like me to.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So the first choice of the salary committee, if you remember in the 12-13 school year, teachers and not everybody across the board was frozen. And then started getting steps after the 12-13 school year. So the salary committee would like to see, ask me to figure a cost on what it would, we would activate the salary schedule so that everybody would get their yearly experience step this year, but then the teachers that were frozen during the 12-13 school year would get an additional step. There would be no money put on the base. It would just be that vertical movement. Non-certified was frozen as well, so you would have to do something with that, that pay as well. So if we activated the salary schedule, we catch up the frozen teachers from 12-13 school year, and that is 61 teachers. Catch up the non-certified as well from the 12-13 school year. We did have one administrator that was frozen during that time as well because that administrator was here. that is $182,000 to make that happen. Second choice of the salary committee was to increase the base salary $175, to move it to $31,750, to let everybody move on the salary schedule, increase the board paid insurance amount, so the defined contribution amount for teachers, or all staff, I'm sorry, 139 staff that take district insurance. That is a 1.70% increase on average. That would cost $150,369.88.
How much was that insurance separated?
We currently pay $470. How much was just insurance by itself? Is that what you're asking?
Out of that raise. How much did that cost?
Just a second, I can tell you. I don't have that number in front of me. I have it on my spreadsheet. About $25,000. Plus some bennies on some benefit costs on top of that. So somewhere between 25 and 30,000. Those are the two I did in the budget. Is the second choice. I did send that out. I got feedback from the salary committee. In the current budget in front of you is scenario 4, which is the 175 to the base, bringing the base salary up to 3170.
The first one you talked about?
Yes.
Where we make it to step 13, does that also include a step for this year?
Yes. So the 61 teachers that were frozen would get 2 steps. Everybody else that either wasn't here, well, even the ones that are here, because we opened the salary schedule up to let them bring all of their years' experience. So they didn't get the 12. So we have somebody we hired last year has 15 years experience. He got all of his experience except the 12-13 school year. So they would get that as well. It affects 61 people.
So basically, the teachers will get 2 steps.
Yes. 61 of them. The rest of them would get 1.
How many teachers did you say total?
61.
I mean, total teachers?
Oh, 96. I think, well, I can tell you.
But it'd just be the ones that only get 1 step, or the ones that came after 213 that didn't have enough experience to
Correct.
go back past first.
So 97.13 is the actual number.
So just in ballpark numbers, I don't want to get real technical, it's ballpark. How did you arrive at $132,000 for the step for the number
150, 182.
180.
I put it in the spreadsheet with, I've got salaries in there. If I give this many teachers 2 steps, this many teachers 1 step, I rolled it's a 3.63 increase that was missed in 12-13 for non-certified. That combined with the 1.3, so it was a 2.33, and then you add the 1.3, so that's a 3.63. If you add all that up and you put the benefits on the side with it, that's the cost.
So the 61 teachers are going to get what percent?
So around 3.5%, 3.6% on the average.
And that includes the 14.5 from the district that it'll cost us.
Yes, that has all the benefits in it. That's the total cost. That's Medicare, FICA, retirement, that's everything.
And the non-certified that were here or have experience, their experience allows them to get that 213. They will get an additional raise.
Yes.
Plus they'll get the 1.6, 1.3 for this year.
Correct. So teachers that weren't here or don't have that experience, or administrators that were not here, 1.3.
The rest of them that were 3.6.
That's a close number.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion. Okay, I make a motion that we adopt the first recommendation of the salary committee to allow the certified personnel 1 vertical step movement for experience, and also allowing a horizontal movement on the salary schedule for the educational advancement, and to return the step lost in 12-13 school year for the staff that this applies to. The non-certified will receive an adjustment as well for the 12-13 school year, and an average 1.3 increase for the 1 step given to the teachers. Administration will receive a 1.3 increase, with 1 administrator frozen in 12-13 receiving an adjustment as well. That's my motion. Oh, 12-13, I'm sorry. 12-13. 12-13 was the
Which
year it
was
was frozen.
the
Did I say
frost
20?
Yeah, that's the
Oh, I'm so
first.
sorry.
You said 12.
You had it.
No,
I will
write
need-
faster.
If that passes, I will need a copy of that.
No, write faster. Well, if I'd known that, I'd have printed it out instead of writing. Perfect.
So you're doing the month. I thought it was
How's your shorthand?
You're doing December.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you.
My longhand looks like shorthand's the problem.
Okay, that's my motion.
We have a motion on the floor to give the 213 step that was frozen to the teachers that was here, and to the teachers that had come here, that their experience allows them to pick that up. For non-certified to get their, that was here to get their raise out of it, and also a step for teachers this year. 1.3, correct?
Yes.
1.3 for non-certified this year.
Did you include anything with, did you include the administrator?
Yep, they're in
And
there.
then the other administrators get 1.3?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure you have that on.
Yep, it's on there.
Okay.
She did a really good job.
Oh, thank you
Can
so
I have-
much.
Can I have that when you're done?
No,
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Mark seconds the motion. Is there any discussion? Vote. All those in favor? Like 7-0, motion passes. We now go to item C, adopt the 2021 contracted bus rates.
My promise to the drivers for a couple years is I would never recommend a lower rate increase than the average teacher receives. So that would be a 3.6 or whatever the board chooses to do after that. But that would be the minimum.
And what's in the budget right now? What's calculated in it?
When did I put in the budget?
Yeah.
So I put in the budget based, the number you gave me, which was $70,000. Increase to that. But
Yeah. So I would make a motion to accept what's in the budget right now. Is 70, is it even, or is it a little bit more than that? Pretty close to that.
it's 70. Is that applied equally to the 3? To
Yeah.
the base and miles?
That's,
Just need to, I'll put that in motion, just so I know how to apply it.
the percentage.
No, I can tell you the percentage.
Divided equally, yeah, divided equally between the paved miles, the dirt miles, and the base.
What percentage is that?
It should be right around 12.
We have a motion on the floor to increase by 70,000 contracted bus rates. Do I have a second? Dan seconds. Any discussion?
yes. You shouldn't put me up there. So, A year ago, probably yesterday, we were in this room and discussing this same thing. And at that time, the board voted, Dan and I proposed a 6% increase for the bus drivers at that point, and the board chose not to give that to them. In the wake of all that, a lot of, for use of any other words, hate and discontent has gone on for another year in this town. Now, there is nothing that I would like more than to see the bus driver thing end. I believe with everything in me that they have been done wrong, that by past boards, I believe that they deserve more than they have been given, and I know they have missed raises unjustly. This before my time, let alone what happened last year. They felt that they needed to protect themselves in the lawsuit that they filed against the school board, and I completely understand that. We had to countersue. That was the belief that that needed to happen. Again, more hate and discontent. I would like nothing better than to see this all go away. I would like nothing better than to see them get 12%. But we are living in the most volatile time that we have ever lived in. A lot of you are actually even older than me. Duh, I know it's hard to believe. And I know none of you have seen this. It scares me, not that it's not deserved, it scares me for the school to give that huge a raise that we are going to have to continue to give. Now, you all protect the kids while you have them for 2 hours a day. The teachers, for 8 hours a day, are protecting those kids, and I am praying within everything in me that they are teaching those kids and doing the best they can by them. So, I'm just commenting, I don't say that you don't deserve the 12%, but it would be hard to do 12% and the teachers only get 3.6%, even though I understand you have missed a lot. So I think we need to consider the times we're living in too. And we don't know when next year's gonna come, what's gonna come. Are they gonna shut down the casinos again? Are they gonna shut down this? Are they gonna, are we gonna have another round of COVID? Are we gonna go to totally virtual school? And if that's the case, you won't have a job. So, and everything like that. So those are my comments. That's it.
I would just like to state some facts. In the last 10 years, teachers, non-certified, and administration increases were at 29.19%. The contracted bus drivers got 10.36%. That's almost 20% more in raises. It seems like to me that there's not a problem in the last 8 months spending $20,000 on lawyer fees. It seems to me that there's not a problem with spending $35,000 to hold a right to contract when it's the only one out of 18, and it does nothing for the school and it does nothing to the bus association but hurt them. I have seen previously with lawyer fees reaching well above this $20,000. It seems that it doesn't bother some people in past administrations and some people that might still be on the board to spend $100,000 to keep the buses from getting a raise. But when it comes to $70,000 to make an adjustment on what I just said here, it seems like there's all kinds of input about how wrong that is. When all I can see is how wrong that they've been done. That would be my 2 cents worth.
In the 18-19 school year, at the end of the year, we had what, $390,000 left over?
I would have to look, Dan, I can't.
So we had a choice on which fund to put that money in, correct?
We have to have a certain amount of money in Fund 4 to pay our lease purchases and do any projects. But
We
yeah,
put it in Fund 3 to do capital projects. right?
Fund 4,
Fund 4.
we don't have any money in Fund 3.
Okay, we went from like ballpark 1.1 million up to say 1.5 million in that fund.
We wouldn't have got that high. I don't believe. I'd have to look. I mean, you're asking me a question, I'd have to look.
Maybe I'm wrong, but my question becomes, and I was for giving the teachers more of a raise than what we just gave them. And I understand where we're at financially. You know, if you go in any business, the first place they look is cut payroll, cut payroll, cut payroll. But I feel like that we cut the payroll, and that's where $390,000 came from. We're even in positive this year. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the legislature, but they're talking about doing $100 billion for low-income schools. And that breaks down to like millions of dollars per school if it comes to be, but again, who knows? I agree with Dean on one thing, I'm sick of talking about bus driver stuff. I'm for the 12%, and I feel like that we should have probably used some of that money that we put in other funds to put in the operating funds. But when we had the surplus, nobody talked about giving teachers raises, which I was all for. And I've said so privately and in open meeting last September. I thought the teachers deserved more. They got 1.7 last year, best I can remember. They got one step. One step is like 67,000 maybe total dollars.
We added to the base. So we added to the base and they did that as well.
I thought it was just 1.7. Well, anyway, I think we've got the money. Every year when we do a budget, we budget like $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 in the red, and we come up. That's 700,000 plus another 3 in black. So I don't see a reason why we can't go ahead and do this raise.
One
I just-
thing that might lighten the load on the budget, and as I understand it, we have interest in the bus, sell it back. That's 33,000 coming out of there, so if you take the 33,000 off the 70, well, you're only looking at 38,000 out of the budget for this year. So that lightens the load this year.
That's just for 1 year though.
Yeah, just for 1 year.
What's our deficit this budget going to be that you propose?
By the end, I'm fairly confident, I mean, it's budgeted $1 million, I think we'll get to the $500,000 mark. We will deficit spend this year, with $125 million, I mean, I don't know how we want. But we've prepared ourselves for that.
Right. So over $1 million is what we budgeted as a deficit.
I believe it'll be closer to $500,000.
Right.
What did we budget last year for deficit?
400.
So what I think is fair is to give the 3.63 across the board. 3.63 is what we, not necessarily average teacher, from what I understand, is it, but for the 60-some teachers. And I think that's what we should do for the drivers, based on mileage. Well, that because we did not, you're right, we did not give the 6% that was requested. That you talked about. Well, we did give a raise, and it was a larger on average raise than the average teacher got. I think this year it'd be fair just to stay with the 3.63, especially with this pandemic we're dealing with. I don't think we would. I just don't think that's fair for the district.
So was it fair to address 2013 for the teachers?
This year,
Right now, what we just did, was that fair?
I suppose so. It's at 3.63%.
It's not fair to look at this? The last 10 years?
I think
Almost a
it would be.
20% difference?
I think it would be. My opinion is I don't think it's fair to give more raise to the drivers. We did that last year.
So if you still had the last board and there were 2 or 3 more routes for sale, would you consider buying the right to contract to them?
If they requested us to buy them,
Yeah.
I think we would consider it, see what it was in the budget.
So that would be okay to spend $100,000 in this deficit time?
Well, what you're doing is, in my opinion, whenever we sell those back, now we have a debt or a liability to the drivers. I don't know that that's a good idea either.
It's something you never had to pay back. Whenever you purchased 3 more routes at $100,000, that's money you didn't have to spend at all. But you're okay with that?
If we would ever
But
have
you're
to,
not
if
okay
we would
with
ever
the
have
other?
to, this money we would always owe to the drivers, and that's what you want to do.
But whether you pay for it right now or you pay it 40 years down the road, it's the same amount. So why would you want to spend it right now when you don't have to?
I guess we just disagree, like you said.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. It's real easy for you guys to spend $100,000 to buy 3 more routes for right to contract, but it's real hard. It's easy to spend $20,000 to lawyers, but it's real hard for you to give a raise.
Did we spend $20,000
In the last 8 months, there's been $20,000, over 20.
over the lawsuit?
But most of it is, I'm sure.
All of it's not in yet because it wasn't in the June bill, so there's more still coming.
The lawsuit wasn't our choice.
The only reason that they went and got a lawyer was because you guys said you were taking the routes. They had to stop the action that you were presenting to them. So yeah, it is your fault.
We just got to
They would have never went and got a lawyer ever if you wouldn't have sent a letter saying you're taking the routes.
How long did we have to go through to try to come to an agreement?
I don't know, but
Months.
the other night it took me and Lowell about 30 minutes to get an agreement worked up with the bus drivers on the cameras. It was real easy, real easy. Yeah, it was.
Because the drivers campaigned hard to have you guys, so they know you are
Do you
not
want
going to go against it.
Do you want to read?
That's what happened.
Do you want to read what we came up with and see what the difference is between what you guys came up with and what we came up with? What we came up with covered everything.
Do you think this job pays money?
Do you think I don't know
Do you
that?
think it pays money? We just got through spending $50,000 for a door and about $50,000 to replace floor tile in the elementary that we didn't really have to replace. $100,000.
To improve our school.
And now we're telling these people we can't give them a raise.
You're saying you don't want to improve the school.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
If we need to.
It's where your priorities are.
So that's what we're trying to do.
We're talking about asbestos. I mean, good grief.
Yeah, and I did a walkthrough and they said as long as that asbestos is not coming up, we're good. Now, that's what I think Dr. Dodd told me on the walkthrough. It was sealed. It actually, the last time I walked through, it looked really good. They just got done sealing and waxing. It looked like brand new. Whenever someone comes to you and gives you a list of things to do, and they say, choose from the 12 what you'd like to do, none of them are super important. Now, when they come to you and say, this roof is leaking buckets of water into the classroom, then you know it's got to be done. But whenever you're choosing between 12 things, it's not crucial. And as far as that door goes, that door was already the most secure door on that building. Unless you increase the security of all the other doors around that building, on the same building, you didn't really do a whole lot. So are we going to put a $51,000 door on every door on that building to make it equal to what we just put in? It already had a magnetic lock. It was already the best that we had.
The money that we spent on those building improvements was the money that we failed to give in teacher raises. That's the way I look at it. We had $390,000 that we could have carried over and said, we're going to use this for teacher raises. This is before the virus thing ever came along. We could have done that. Nobody said anything about giving teachers raises.
But we're using that out of the capital improvement funding that can be used for teacher raises. Am I wrong?
You have to transfer it from Fund 1 to Fund 4. And once it's there, that is correct.
So
It has
once it's
to
there
get
in Fund
there.
4,
It has to
which
get
is where
there.
it was, and then we.
So you choose how much to put in there before you can spend it.
Correct.
So the money's there. Let's transfer enough to the raises.
The money's in Fund 1.
Sorry, there.
It's already there.
Any more discussion? Vote. All in favor? All opposed? 4-3, motion carries.
Just need to make sure that
We've met with the bus drivers, and we have, it's all a bunch of chicken scratches. But we need a motion to take it to the attorney, but they're not enough, so we can make the report. Item D, approve the 2021 bus drivers.
Okay. You have a list in front of you of all the subs that we know about and all of the bus drivers and their routes at this point. We approve sub bus drivers as the year goes. We have a new sub bus driver come on. We add them to that. We approve them monthly.
Alright, we need to pull Larry out of that. I don't know who's right. We can pull Larry out of that. Need a motion to approve the bus drivers?
I'll make that motion.
Troy makes a motion, do I have a second? Dan seconds, any discussion? All in favor? Like 7-0. We need a motion to approve Larry as a bus driver, Larry Benson.
Make that motion.
Troy makes a motion, do I have a second? Dan seconds, any discussion? All in favor? 6, 1 abstain. Good.
Should be on that.
Item F, approve a 2021 Section 125 renewal.
Section 125 is a plan that we use for our employees that they can pay their health insurance benefits, whether that be medical, dental, vision, prior to their tax liability, prior to paying taxes on them, so it lowers their gross pay. It saves, it's a tax savings for employees. Done it for years.
Need a motion to approve the 125 renewal. Randy makes the motion. Do we have a second? Troy seconds. Any discussion? All in favor? 7-0. Motion passed. Item G, approve the 2021 fiscal budget.
So our 2021 fiscal projection, which I think most of you guys have seen in our work sessions, have has a revenue projection of $12,720,338.14. And in our past budgets, I have talked about projecting revenues lower and projecting expenditures higher. I believe these revenues are pretty close due to the fact that the governor is telling us there's going to be another withhold in the next couple of weeks, projecting that to be at about $125 million. So we were being paid at an SAT in March of $6,375, but $125 million withhold from K-12 education moves that to a $6,210 projected, or $6,210 projected SAT. We did end the school year with a lowered ADA of 11.3 students. So we've dropped a few kids. Primarily, I think that was due to, we had a pretty bad flu season, January through March. We saw a drop in ADA at that time, and we usually can recover that March through May, but when the school year ended March 12th, I think that hurt our ADA, but we, depending on what those numbers look like in the fall, we can estimate again, or we have to use previous first or second year average daily attendance to draw down our state dollars. So we'll have to look at that in October and November to see what our ADA is running, to see if we can do, we can estimate. We usually wait till January or so to do that. Our expenditures, projected expenditures, there may be a little room in here. It's $13,723,101.26. That does have a deficit of $1,002,763.12. I believe we're going to increase fund balance. It's currently we're going to increase this year fund balance from, it's currently 22%. Because we do have we're in the black at the end of the year, like I talked about earlier. We'll increase that to about 26. If we can keep that deficit to about $500,000, that's going to bring us in about 18 or 20%. So, if you had time to look at your budgets, if you have any questions, I'll try to answer.
Anybody have any questions? We need a motion to approve the 2021 fiscal budget. Dan makes a motion to approve the fiscal budget. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Troy seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those not in favor? We have 6-4. 1 against. Motion passed. Item H, discussion regarding food service contract with Ava.
I was asked to put this on the agenda. I was asked to put this on the agenda. We have 1 year left with OPA on our current contract. Our plan was to go out to bid in the fall or start making plans to do it ourselves next fiscal year.
So do we have those numbers on our average lunch cost?
I gave those to
We'll have them.
on the per plate cost.
Right. And does that include the district employees?
It's not include district employees.
Do you know what our cost is on district
So
side of it?
about $13.47 an hour is what they make currently. Probably got, I think there's
I don't have a figure with benefits and everything. I can get those. Get close, okay.
Just give me a second. $75,000 to $80,000. That may be a little shy, but it's you're 100 to, you're 80 to 100. You're catching it with that.
Right. So when you read the OPA contract, it states that we're responsible for doing a lot of the cleaning, the floors, the walls, I think the tables.
They do all of that.
OPA does?
Yeah, open,
Okay.
all the employees in there, they clean the cafeteria floors, they clean all the tables, they clean the kitchen. Our custodians do not go into the cafeteria.
Oh, I'm talking about district employees versus OPA employees.
They do it, they
Because
should.
I've been told by some district employees that it is divided. And they have to do certain things where the OPA employees are responsible for like the dishes and the trays. So whenever they get done, they just go home and the other ones are still working.
I would have to ask Carla that. I can't answer that question. I know that she has a rotation, who does what every day.
What was that per plate, Lowell, that you were given? Oh, you gave it to me, sorry.
How many meals, maybe breakfast?
Well, everybody in the district has free breakfast, but not everybody eats it, so you could probably run about 100 breakfast. Someone that might do lunch. It's probably closer to 6 or 700. Maybe a little higher than that.
Say 1,700.
How many lunches a month? Do you have any idea?
I'm saying a day, so if you've got 20 a day, if you run 700 lunches a day, times 20 days.
Roughly, if you average breakfast and lunch on district employees, figures up something like 28 cents a piece a meal.
Something that you do probably need to know is, I mean, there's a 60-day window cancellation on that contract, and it starts next week. You're supposed to notify them 60 days prior to the termination of the contract. We will not be able to hire our food service director that just started 2 weeks ago. So, because she has a non-compete clause, and then we have 2 other people that work for OPA that could not come to work for us because they're retired.
Managers.
No, just 2 workers. The managers I don't know about. I know the director could not, because that's in the contract. But we have 2 workers that work for OPA on a daily basis. They could not come to work for us because they're retired district employees, and they can only work 550 hours and still go for retirement. Because they can be paid by the district if you want to do so. We'll have to figure out that food service. If they let us out of it, we start putting on summer school.
Yeah, but with the 60-day letter, you're looking at August 24th.
I think it's 6 days of commencement of contract, the way I read it. Contract begins July 1st. I don't think we've given them enough notice to commence the contract. I don't think it's 60 days and the contract's over, unless I read it wrong. I think we had to let us go another 60 days ago. But,
So, yeah, so, you know, I've been checking into with a lot of information, as an individual, not representing the board. And, I've gathered a lot of information. And our participation rate is way lower than everybody else. I haven't checked with other OPA people, but I have looked on the internet, and not very many people are happy with it. Lowell, when I found that out, several years back when we went to the fall convention, and we actually went to an OPA meeting, and everyone there was there to complain about it. One district had someone there thinking about going to OPA, which they decided, they told us afterwards, they definitely weren't going to do that. Another one was with another type of company, the same as OPA, and they were thinking about switching to them because they didn't like the one they were at. After the meeting, they didn't want to go either. So
I did touch base with Monette, that you mentioned last week.
are they still using them, or?
So Monette was not using OPA anyway. They were with OPA 5 years ago.
Okay. I know they had a lot of problems back then.
Not according to the superintendent. I don't think
It made KY3 news, I know.
They were with Aramark. They finished their contract with Aramark this year.
Okay.
They started planning last winter
Right.
to take it on their own. And they do have a director of operations, and they had somebody on staff that had an associate's degree in culinary, and that's the person that's going to run it. Just
Yeah.
to clarify.
Okay. Okay.
I talked to him last week.
Right. So most of the schools around here don't use OPA. Most of them use a district-run program, and a lot of them use Springfield Grocers, and they've got different levels that you can use them. They do have a program where they track your nutrition, and they give you reports on your nutrition of each meal each day. So if you're ever audited, they will come in, or you've already got on your computer, you've got the whole, every month you know exactly what nutrition was for each kid. So an audit is a simple thing with this company. So you know, we got people like Kirbyville, Forsyth, Branson, Rogersville, Dora, Mansfield. Just, I mean, pretty much everyone around us is using this system. The people, the parents, the kids, and you know, even looking at the participation rates, they're a lot happier doing it that way. I don't know what the cost is, because these figures, it'll take me a while to crunch the numbers. I know what the cost is for a local school that gave me their numbers. They broke it down to what the labor costs per meal and what the food costs per meal. And it's hard to say where we're at. I don't think we're far off. But when I look at their menu, it looks pretty good. I know that we have gotten into a time where we're given so many choices to the kids that the cafeteria people can't even keep up with deciding what the kids are going to eat that day. I've been told that a lot of food gets thrown away because of that. One day they serve the same set of stuff. The kids choose one thing. The next time they're choosing a different one. They didn't prepare enough food, so you got kids that are a little upset they can't get what they wanted. There's a lot of stuff trying to go on here to make this OPA work, and all it's doing is frustrating the workers in the cafeteria, and you know, it's not a good and healthy environment, in my opinion. And we still have low participation, and I've been told that food gets thrown away at a very large rate. What I see with this other program, everybody's serving pretty much one meal, maybe a salad bar, but one meal. And some of them have 80 to 90% people, that's counting teachers too, eating at the cafeteria. I don't know how many teachers do all the teachers just go there and eat every day? I don't know. But there are schools where they're doing that. It would be nice that our food was good enough for that to, happen. Where that was a good option to go to the cafeteria. But it seems like for many years, it's not been that way. I have tried and tried to get the board to discuss this, but it's not worked. No one wants to discuss it. In my opinion, from what I've heard, I don't know how we cannot do that, how we cannot switch. I do know this program can be put in less than 10 working days. But we'd have to get rid of OPA first before we can talk to them as a board.
I think we need to take a contract and turn it and see what our
Options are?
options are.
I would make that motion to just take it to the attorney and see what they say about it.
Motion's been made to take the OPA contract to the attorney, see what our options are. Do I have a second? Dan seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Oh, wait a minute. So why are we taking it to a lawyer when it already says that we can get out of it in 60 days? I'm confused.
I think my interpretation of it, and I may be wrong, is that it says we have to give them 60-day notice prior to the beginning of the contract. The contract begins July 1st. So the way I read it, again, is we didn't give them 60 days notice prior to the commencement of the contract.
I think we need to let an attorney look at this, and give us our options. You good with that?
Have you discussed with OPA yet what the options are? See what their interpretation of it, because it may not need to look at an attorney.
So
We may just have
they
to-
believe it's a 60-day notice. I mean, they said we don't want to be somewhere we're not wanted, but you're required, I mean, by contract, you're required to give us 60 days notice prior to the commencement of the contract. Would they hold us to it? I don't know. That would be their option.
Yeah.
Now on they have the amendments that they put in.
The one-year amendment?
Right,
Yeah.
and in that one, it states that either side can get
Yeah.
out of it within a 60-day
Correct.
notice. I didn't read that part, you might be
It
reading
was
it
in the
too.
name. It was in the name.
But I did notice that they did put in there that we're gonna pay the difference between the hourly rate, the minimum wage that is right now, and what they started at, which was $8 an hour. So as they keep, as the minimum wage goes up, we're the ones paying the difference.
So that minimum wage went up this year, and I refused to, because it was not
You
in the
didn't
contract.
refuse?
I refused it. I never
Okay.
paid it.
So at that point, they could have ended their contract
Correct.
with us.
Correct. But I did not do that this year. We did
Okay.
not increase our contribution rate to make up that difference. So I still wanted to do it. It's not our liability.
Right.
So also you said that if we do not complete the open contract this year that we have done, 3 people are going to lose their jobs.
Two retirees that work for Oakland currently could not. They could only work 550 hours.
And then,
They also work Bears Den and some other things. The food manager, they did tell me that, they will not release her from her, and she won't, she's new.
Right. Yeah, I think in the
She would have
contract
to
it
out.
stated that we would have to pay her full wage to them, plus we'd have to pay her, I guess. So it'd be a penalty. Right.
but she left her other job to come here to do this, correct?
They won't put it in.
They said that, I asked that question, they said if they had an opening, they would. It's just if they had an
So you're wanting to do this right away? Get rid of OPA and go to a different system?
Are you
Is that
talking to me?
correct? Yes.
I would like to see something better. I mean, I've been wanting to see this since the first time I was on that. So I put 3 years in, and then another year, and here we are, I'm on a second term, and we're still with OPA. I'm still getting phone calls from parents. I'm being told that the kids go home hungry because they throw their food away because it's not worth eating. I don't know what the problem is, but when I look at the other schools that are doing something different, and I talk to them, they don't have that problem. They're not getting the phone calls. I just think we can do better. I've thought that all along. I've voiced my opinion every time. I've not changed. But I do think we probably should look at that contract, like Lowell said. I mean, we definitely don't want to get into a mess. The way I understood it, we could just give a 60-day notice without cause. That's what I read in the amendment. But I think it'd be wise to look at it.
So, Dr. Dye, to switch 60 days before we start the new school year, that would be quite the adventure, wouldn't it?
Be busy. We have to buy Opus food, because they buy the food, so all the food in the fridge, we have to buy from them. Or have them, I think it says we have to buy it.
It does. We do have a low amount, I was told.
We'd have to hire staff. We have to work with Springfield Grocery.
So,
It
I think
makes me nervous.
I'm thinking that in all this, taking this contract to the lawyer, maybe we need to look at what it will cost the district to do these. I mean, if we're gonna have to buy food, we're gonna have to buy out contracts, we're gonna have to do things like that, I'm thinking maybe we need a number here
We
too.
won't be buying any contracts. We would have to do that.
What about the one?
She wouldn't have a job.
So she just wouldn't have a job.
And the other two could either, I guess, work 550 hours.
Yeah, I don't see that the district couldn't help people out that didn't need to work a full day. I still think we could, there's gonna be some jobs where they could work, some people less hours, and there'd probably be some jobs where, I think where a person would want it, we should work them as many hours as they can. You know, some of these people drive in for 3.5 hours work. I don't even know how they can afford the gas to get in if they're making $9 an hour for 3 hours. It would cost me half my wages just to get to school.
I think we have 4.5 to 6, except for the managers or etc.
And what wage has Oprah got them at right now?
9. The managers are a little higher than that. The managers are 11 or 12, I think.
I mean the average.
I think in the
Nine,
nines.
in the nines, I think. So you're talking $40, take taxes out of $40. How can they afford to drive in? I mean, how can you afford to even put wear and tear on your vehicle? I think as a district-run operation, the ones that do want more hours, I think that would be a big benefit to them and to our community. This is stuff we should have talked about years ago, but we had boards that didn't want to talk about it.
So,
There's another thing that's not even been mentioned so far. And if kids aren't happy with the food, if they aren't eating the food, how much will it benefit how much they learn if they have food that they like?
Yes. Sorry, I've got 3 kids and they come home starving all the time. And they won't eat.
Any more discussion?
So the motion is to take the open contract to an attorney, is that correct?
An attorney and see what our options are. And that doesn't mean that we're gonna do anything, that just means we'll see our options. You know, the board will have to approve if an option if we do anything.
Just to clarify, this is the last year, or 5-year deal, so I just want to make sure everybody knows.
Any more discussion? All those in favor of taking the contract to an attorney?
Troy made the motion and Dan seconded.
All those in favor? All those opposed? 4 for, 3 against. Motion carries. Item I, discussion regarding district auditor.
Let's put this on there.
So, I believe it was 2 board meetings ago. Yeah, it was 2 board meetings ago. We approved using, was it March? Okay, it's part of it. Okay, actually maybe, oh, that's when COVID hit, so see, there you go. We approved KPM again for another 5-year agreement to do the yearly audit for the school versus a local company, Thomas & Douglas, who was $5,000 cheaper a year. Since the approval by the board at that time to use KPM, we have researched with Thomas & Douglas because the big swaying factor was that KPM will answer our phone calls and don't charge us for doing it. And it was nobody had asked Thomas & Douglas if they would charge us to call them. Thomas & Douglas has said no, that we can ask as many questions as we want, that would have no issue with us contacting them. Since the last meeting, we have contacted, Dr. Dodd contacted KPM, and we do not have a contract with KPM, we have an agreement with KPM. And they will not fine us or penalize us or anything if we decide not to use them for the next 5 years. There will be no cost to the district. If we do switch to Thomas & Douglas, we will of course save over $20,000. So I am going to make a motion. I didn't write this one down, sorry. This one's right off the cuff. Okay. I'm going to make a motion that we end our agreement with KPM and we sign the agreement that was originally submitted by Thomas & Douglas to be our auditor for the next 5 years.
Motion has been made. We end the agreement with KPM and sign the agreement with Thomas Douglas. Do I have a second? Dan seconds. Any discussion?
How many schools do they service for that type of?
I've got to hear some
KPM.
references.
Thomas & Douglas.
So here's some references. Thornfield, Seymour, Avila, Greenfield, Ludi, Dora, Hurley, Willow Springs. They possibly do more, but these are the references you can call.
And how long have they done it?
How long have they been in business, do you know?
I'm just saying for the school districts.
Long time. Long
That's
time.
another class.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? 4. All those opposed? 3 opposed. Motion passed.
That's all I have, sir.
That ends our
Session, take care of
I need a motion to adjourn the meeting. Dan makes a motion, any second. Randy second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Who made the motions? I'm sorry.
I got it.
I quit writing.
7-0, motion passed.